Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Willie. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Come on in. Come on. Get in here. Hi.
Hello.
Come on in.
Come on.
Come on in, really.
Come on, right on in.
We insist. Come on in.
Our legs are wide open.
Let's go.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
In you come.
Come on.
Come on.
Hi.
Come on in.
So you don't have to be that high up because literally all I can see now is your skirt.
Like
Even
here?
lower. That's it.
Ready?
And then when you fall backwards so the light's on.
Ready? Okay, ready?
Great. Now you just do that but not looking at the camera.
Oh yeah, I was like,
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
3,
Go.
2, 1.
Oh.
3, 2, 1. Cool. So I'm Rachel, and I got into comedy in the US. Actually, I went over there to start doing method acting, which was very interesting. But I perchance took an improv to sketch comedy class and loved it, and it just was so fun. I love the idea that there was no scripts in improv, and then that you could kind of create short little comedic scenes rather than, I think I was done with trying to do big, long, dramatic plays, and it was just really exciting. And then, yeah, so I got into it there, and as soon as I came back to Australia, I researched anywhere where I could do sketch comedy, and the first thing that came up was the UCID Women's Review, and that's actually where we met.
Yeah, I'm Lauren, and I got into comedy doing that show, and so I was at uni and I didn't really do any of the kind of like theatre shows there, but then I saw the audition and it was just the most amazing, supportive environment, and I'd never written or performed sketch comedy before. But we just kind of like honed our skills amongst all of these really talented, supportive women and non-binary people, and it was just, yeah, it was great. And then obviously we met and kind of formed our connection, our creative connection. Yeah. I remember meeting Rachel in the show in rehearsals and just being like blown away by how committed she was to any bit, and she would absolutely go for it 110%, like energy levels through the roof, even if it was just a bit of improv or just like a read through of a little script that we worked on for 5 minutes. And I just thought she was hilarious. She's the funniest person I know, so.
But we weren't even really like that close in that first show. And I remember kind of looking at you and thinking like, oh, Lauren's so witty, she's so funny. I remember like looking at a lot of your characters and just being like, oh wow, I wish I could do something like that. So yeah, and so we met there, but then later did another sketch comedy women's review where Lauren actually directed it and I was in it. And then that's kind of where we were like, oh, I think we're vibing a little bit.
Yeah.
And our comedic styles were kind of very complementary, and we would just make each other laugh so much, and we're like, well, what else can we do? Well, I would say our style's pretty campy. It's very tacky. We kind of by accident are also very, it's very cultural to Australia, probably to Sydney specifically. Yeah, it's very, a lot of musical. We always find when we're writing our shows, we kind of go, oh, we have a lot more songs than we thought.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I say. It's very quirky as well. And calculated, but doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, so you've fucked that up.
Or vice versa. Our first, I think, live performance we ever did, all these girls in the front row, is a show in Manly, they're all whispering like, oh my God, they don't know what they're doing. And so I would say, yeah, that's the vibe.
I think we really lean into making things really awkward and really playing up that our characters are super tense and really awkward, and we really, really play it up for the audience. And some people when we don't, it kind of give a bit of a background to show that we're sketch comedy, get genuinely really like uncomfortable, and like the girls that were legit just thought that we like didn't know what we were doing, but it's all just a shtick that we love to do.
Yeah. In terms of how it's different from stand-up comedy, I guess stand-up comedy can be character-based. Most of the time it's just you, the person, doing stand-up, but our kind of sketches, basically, it's like a mini play, a 2 to 3 minute play, very character-based, and it's like a little scene. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, Rachel and I both kind of have notes in our phone that are just constantly things we add to, little ideas that come up in our day-to-day life. Because I think we really like to focus on really mundane, like cultural references, whether it's something like Westfield or like Portman's, and like these little moments that we all have experience in life, but then just really play them up and make them really ridiculous and funny. And the characters that like we all are familiar with around Sydney and Australia, and just really like hamming it up. But we constantly just write, even if it's like one line, and sometimes we'll go back and reread it and just be like, what was I thinking when I wrote this? But it's where some of our best ideas have come from. So we'll often kind of like sit down and then kind of compare notes, and then just kind of riff off what we've written down. And then some of our most favourite sketches have come from that. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm thinking of the notes, they're usually like 3 words that would be in a sentence. Like I think one of them says like, I'm gonna need mango first, thanks. And like we would usually take that and be like, that's funny, who would say that? And then kind of build from there and go, okay, this person might say it, and then where can we put them? But another way that I love that we actually kind of create a lot of stuff, or have in the past, is through music. I think we really like the idea of using music. We'll put on something and just see what that makes us think of. Or, yeah, look at a certain image or look at a certain clip and just go, what does that make us think of? And we just kind of bounce off aesthetics and ideas and images and vibes. I think we kind of, might have an idea, pair it with a vibe, and kind of build from there, if that makes sense.
And our show is so cue heavy, which has been equal parts stressful and hilarious, because we'll rock up to a show with about 5 audio tracks ready to go, and a little cue list written on like a napkin, and we just give it to the tech person and like hope that it goes okay. But we've done shows before, because we so want the music and like these backing tracks are really what colours the show as well, and just adds such a hilarious and entertaining element to every sketch that we do. But it's like, we did a show once where we performed at Secret Garden Festival. It was like 35 degrees. Everyone in the audience was
on
like
acid.
on acid, and we were in this tent. It was so hot. We rocked up with all of our costumes in these big containers. Rachel had dislocated her shoulder the night before because she got to be excited and trying to do the dirty dancing lift. And so we had to get someone from the audience to help dress her, because we also have a costume change in between every sketch. Even if the sketch is like 5 seconds long, we'll do full costume. And so before that, we had about 80 cues or something that we sat down with the tech guy and was like, okay, this is our script. These are the cues. And he was like, yep, all good, sweet.
Had a beer in one hand.
Beer in one hand.
11 a.m.
Fucked up every single cue, and we were just, but no, like half the people, all of our friends knew, and so they were laughing because it was just like a mess. But most people thought that he was part of the act, and it was like a slapstick thing where we were just these like clumsy performers, but we were actually just like so stressed because like every cue was out of time. But it was one of our most memorable shows, I think. Yeah.
And just on that, to link it back to how we get ideas, we do have costume changes for every single character, and that's a big way that we'll create something as well. Like I might just, like a lot of the time we'll find something in an op shop or at a costume shop and just buy it with no character in mind, just, oh my God, that's amazing. And then we can go, who would wear this? Yeah. I think we're lucky because when things go wrong on stage, our stage presence as Rachael and Lauren, as the Noodle Girls, are very stressed, and they want things to be absolutely perfect. And if they're not, no worries, we deal with it with a smile. And so it's honestly a blessing in disguise when we do turn up to stand-up nights and we've got a list of 5 cues for a 5-minute slot and we're just meeting the tech person and we're saying, please, here are the exact cues that you do this one plays twice, but this one sounds like the one at the beginning, but it's actually different, but we've named them. We always then go, but if you fuck it up, don't worry, we'll yell at you, but it's all part of it. So it's honestly fine when things go wrong, which I think is a bit of a blessing.
Yeah, I think our whole shtick is just so self-aware as well. So if the cue is wrong or it doesn't play, we'll be in position waiting and then we'll just be like, cue please, or just like yell at them or just say something, and like it just works, and it's saved us a lot in our live shows. But yeah.
Oh, my favorite, my favorite was our encore performance last year. I think we sold out the opening weekend of the Sydney Comedy Festival, which was really cool, and it was our debut show. And then they asked us to come back and do an encore show. That was just so fun because it was one night only. It was kind of being billed for the first time with our own show, not in a festival, being booked to play the Factory, which was really cool, and it was just so fun. And we were able to take what we did for our debut show and just ham it up so much. And yeah, I loved that one.
I think I loved our most recent show that we did. We performed a couple of weeks ago at Giant Dwarf as part of the Two Queers festival, and it's the only show we've done this whole year, obviously, because everything kind of fell through. Our Sydney Comedy Festival show we had planned obviously got cancelled. And so we just had, again, one night only, kind of just like a fan favourite show of all of our classic sketches and songs. And it sold out within a couple of weeks. And it was just the most amazing energy. Everyone was so excited to A, be in a theatre watching a live show, B, to like see us perform again, which was really nice. And for us, it was just like so wonderful to just fully go, like just go all out. We had a full on set, all the costumes, everything. It was really fun. It was beautiful.
Well, during COVID, we didn't have a lot of shows, so we started to come up with ideas to make a video series. And so we made one, which was the Adam Driver, I So In Love With You video, because he's the sexiest man alive. So we made that, which was really fun, and just kind of, luckily when COVID hit, we'd actually just filmed our Mule Girl music video, and so we had all of that content ready to go. That was kind of a blessing. So that went live, which was really awesome. But what was different with the Adam Driver one is we kind of filmed it and edited it all ourselves. Lauren did most of the editing, which was really cool. And it was a nice moment to kind of take control and go, oh, we can maybe make and edit our own stuff.
Totally. And I think we just wrote a lot. We just kind of spent any time we had to just write and come up with ideas. And I think spending a lot of time indoors, maybe our stimulus for kind of getting ideas was a little bit different. But yeah, I think we just kind of brainstormed a lot and just wrote content. Yeah. I think there's a lot of the same thing in the comedy scene, and a lot of the time it's very masculine. It's mainly, I think, when people think stand-up comedian, they think of a man. And so definitely it's changing. Like there are more, every time there's a lineup now, if there isn't at least 1 or 2 women on there, then people are more conscious of it and more proactive about calling it out and making sure that it doesn't happen again. Whereas I think even when we just first started doing comedy, performing live, we would go to comedy shows, and I remember going to one and it was just about 20 comedians, all men. There was not a single woman. And all of the comedians, like most of them had some kind of critique about femininity and about women, or like sleeping with women, and that classic just like super macho, kind of just boring and offensive. And I just was like, this is bizarre that this is actually what still happens. You kind of think that as, diversity and representation in media is becoming more interesting and more inclusive, you think that extends to kind of all aspects. But actually it's mostly the same kind of straight, white, cisgendered men telling pretty much the same jokes. Yeah. But it is changing.
Yeah, I would say there's like, I guess everyone has an opinion on like woke comedy, but I would say it's getting easier now to shut down people who punch down in their comedy. And yeah, I do think it's diversifying, not a bunch yet. Like, I mean, just a couple years ago, I worked at a comedy bar, and I think I worked there for about 2 or 3 years. One shift, there was 50-50 men and women on the lineup. One shift out of 3 years, 50-50. So, yeah, which was quite disheartening as like a hopeful comedian to see that. But yeah, I guess I would say the biggest thing is just to, if you're not a white, straight, cisgendered male, then you should do comedy because your voice is so much more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of what audience members can do, or viewers of comedy or lovers of comedy can do to help, I guess, push for that change and push for that diversity, is just supporting a diverse range of comics. And I would say question why you like the comedy you do, or take a look at the comedy you watch and just see who it is. And yeah, take a plunge. Go see a show you wouldn't normally go see. Go and support something else. Yeah, I would say to do that, to go and just engage in comedy that you might not be used to. Yeah.
And there are so many really exciting comedy nights like every week across Sydney. And I think just actually going to different kinds of shows all the time because, there's heaps of really great female-run shows. It's all women and non-binary people, and there's like queer shows and all these amazing, safe, inclusive spaces that are just really uplifting. And I think, yeah, just kind of diversifying the kinds of comedy you watch and just going to different comedians and supporting comedians when they do have their own show. And yeah, that's really, I think, the most important way to give back and to also just prove that like it is exciting and it is what people want. They want to see more kinds of different people in comedy. It doesn't always have to be the same way. And I think by supporting more comedians, it's the only way to kind of prove that to the showrunners, to the room runners, that that's what people want to see. Yeah. I want a TV show. I think we just need to make it happen. I think it would be fantastic. A sketch show or like, I don't know, like we host like an interview show, something, I think, or a late night show. I think TV. It's the natural progression for us, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely down for that. We would love, yeah, there's like a few specific characters we have that I feel like we could really write a lot of and really flesh them out. And there's a few characters that I feel very comfortable writing it, and I would love to really take it into that route. I'd also love to like take our show on tour. We've never done that yet. We were planning to go to Melbourne Comedy Festival next year, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'd love to tour around Australia with our show. And
Edinburgh Fringe would be amazing as well. Yeah, international would be cool. Yeah.
I guess like the biggest thing that I've learnt about comedy that I would want others to know if they were wanting to do it would be to do what you think is funny. I think I spent a long time trying to make comedy as this general thing, and I feel like I sucked at it. I was like, I don't understand. But then as soon as I started writing, as if I was talking to Lauren, or as if I was doing a bit with Lauren, or if I was just improvising with my friends, it just started to flow. And so I think it's really important to write what you really think is funny, and don't try and write for anyone except yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think it's always nice. I could not care less if we bomb, because I love what we make. So I think that's really important for me. Yeah.
I think making comedy, for yourself and performing for yourself, it just makes you much more engaging, honestly. If you're up there and you're having the best time, that rubs off on the whole audience, and then they're on your side, and it's just like, it's much better if you can really believe in the comedy that you're making and just like and get on stage to have fun for yourself. Yeah.
Hoo-wee! That was a lot of fun.
We've talked the talk, but now it's time to sketch the sketch.
the bus that goes to Goldman? Oh, wicked. I'm just waiting for my friend. She won't be long. Is that all right?
Alice!
Tiff! Where the fuck have you been? I haven't seen you since Coogee Pav 6 months ago.
I'm sorry, babe, but Steve was there and he asked me back to his hostel and I couldn't say no. And then, well, we got it.
It? You got COVID?
No, syphilis.
Oh. Well, come on, the bus is leaving. Let's go.
Listen, I've been thinking about our plan to do our farm work.
What about it? Where are your bags?
I don't think we should go.
But it's our legal requirement.
Look, Alice, I know the pandemic's fucked everything up, but I came to this country to do 3 things. Hire a wicked van, wear harem pants and travel to surfers' paradise.
Surfers' paradise? But that's illegal, not to mention unnecessary travel. If we get caught crossing the border whilst on holidays, we can kiss our visas and Australian boyfriends goodbye.
But Alice, we could be surf instructors and wear toe rings.
We can't swim.
It doesn't matter, babe, it's all about the lifestyle.
Just hold your horses. Tiff, I can't do this.
Listen, we'll keep driving further north if they try and stop us. To Cairns.
Cairns, the Canberra of Queensland. Oh, I don't know.
Look, the names are real cheap across the border.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll bring my Yui Boom. And we can listen to Dance Monkey by Tones and I whenever we fucking want.
Can we even listen obnoxiously loud while we're slacklining on the beach?
Especially when we're slacklining on the beach.
Ah! All right, fuck it. I'm in.
Yes.
But make me one promise.
Anything.
We get a round of Sambuca shots the second we pull in.
Blimey, that's a promise I know I'll keep.
I'll just ask them something.
No, we have to get back here, Ray.
I know. Just a quick question. Hi, sorry. Do you go to Circular Quay?
Close to, yeah.
Do you?
Martin Place.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Thank you.
Quick.
I know, but we've got to wait for this man to go away. That man. No. He's really angry. So, no, we don't need the bus.
Okay, sorry.